There we go then. Highlight eye with the words alongside Shiva. Very interesting interview, very long interview. Thank you very much for your time as well there, Highlight before we got into the round of 16. He and his team are ready. They head into this one with an enviable record as well. 21-0 in their last 21 games. The last time they were beaten by TNC on the 25th of February. It's pretty crazy, Gods.
I mean, he talked about it. The morale, the confidence you get from that can make a big difference. He believes there's no reason to throw group stages because that can just be a difference maker going into a series. And I think that's where Secret, get through this series. First they got to get through this series, but moving through the tournament, they're going to be going that 21-0, 22, 23-0. If they can keep that going, that's something good that they can build upon.
Yep. Certainly moving in towards that record that Newbie held from 2016 as well. We're going to take a look at the featured matchup in this one. We've picked out the carries, Gods, and Fogs rather, because if there's a player on SG Esports that helped them through, and I don't want to pin it on one guy alone, it was HFN.
Yeah, he was their big star. I think he was one of the first guys, one of the first in South America to reach 8K or something like that. He's really dominant in the way that he farms his movements as well. He's not just a farmer either. He plays very aggressive, but I think that's kind of the nature of style of this team too. They're very aggressive in the laning phase, and I feel like it's gonna I feel like it could work pretty well versus Secret. It might catch them off guard.
He's got an interesting mix of heroes. He's top 5 since 7.0. He was a bit of a Luna spammer early on, which we've had a couple of the carries do that. Weaver, CK, TA, and a Jug. So some inside the meta, some outside of the meta. That bodes well, doesn't it, for the match?
Yeah, he actually started out as a mid player, and only from TI 6, I believe, they changed their carry and mid roles. So he's getting into that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Templar Assassin and he just goes mid. We're actually starting to see a lot of that from other teams now.
Yep.
They're changing depending on the hero that is played. Maybe it's a more farm-oriented mid laner. They give it to the carry player to play it.
Feels like quite a contrast because Team Secret MP plays that more Nutellas carry role where he's the selfless one. They play around mid one. We've seen a few Lycan picks and stuff, but even then, he's still not farming. He's still not playing the hard carries. They're still not necessarily playing around him. They may build a lineup around his hero, but it's not like they expect MP to be the guy to fall back on to carry the game.
Yeah, it's very interesting with all these role swaps going on. What do you make of it, Fold? Is it good or is it bad? I mean, it's great for us for an interest point of view, but is it really paying off for the teams?
I think if it's very hero dependent, I think maybe once or twice, it's okay, Invoker. This guy's an Invoker specialist,
Like a GH.
Yeah, GH for that kind of scenario, like a Naga specialist or an Ember Spirit specialist, something like that. I think when it gets to the point when it's happening too much, I think it can be a big detriment on a team because then it's you're not trusting your mid laner. Then you're not trusting your most important guy. Pretty much, that's the mid laner. You have to be in order to be a mid laner. You have to be super confident in yourself. And if you're switching that up so often for every single time, I definitely think that can hurt.
The other key player, of course, on the other side of things is mid one. The guy is just running away with it in terms of MMR right now. He's hot on the heels, headed towards 10k. That's what he was talking about the other day. I think the pressure of being the first to get there is a bit much for him. He doesn't like that very much, but he is playing out of his mind at this tournament.
Yeah, I was wondering where my MMR went. Now I know.
I think he's stolen all of our MMR.
Right.
Finally out of SEA, he's this is sweet. I can win pub games now. What is this?
We all know where our MMR went. But yeah, he's doing a spectacular job. Every game I've seen him play in the groups, it was amazing. He synergizes very well with his team. They all understand how to play with him, and he understands how to play with his team. So I'm very impressed.
Yeah, is he a puppy mid? And by that I mean, is he the perfect kind of character and player to fit into that team?
I can see it. Puppy really likes these guys who are not really going to throw the game, and they're going to secure it for him. So I don't really see mid one throwing any games, especially if you're reaching a 9.5k MMR. That's what he was tweeting out the other day. Then you're probably not a very big game thrower or anything like that. So
you'd hope not.
Does any team want
game? Not at this level.
No one wants a game thrower as their mid laner though. But there are some mid laners who are much more volatile.
Right.
But,
I think the fact that mid one plays so much, I think, is super important too. I think he shows a lot of interesting builds that he does with some of his heroes. I mean, they're not super different, let's say, but I think he was the first one who I saw do I think Merlini was saying was the Shadow Fiend going Dragonlance into Butterfly. His innovation kind of in those type of ways of how he understands the hero is really interesting.
Yeah. Do you think we see enough innovation?
I think we do from some players, like Envy. I think Envy's a player for me that I always see him going like these builds that you would probably never see people do, like, oh, this Medusa has a blade mail. Oh, this Medusa's going for like these like, totally different builds or stuff like that.
The war drums are live.
Indeed, the drums signify that we are indeed into our first draft between SG Esports and Team Secret. Gods, expectations for draft?
Hard to say, since, I mean, these are two teams there's the smaller sample size on. There's been like a few key go-to picks, but we've seen a lot of versatility from Team Secret. They've favored some of those like Abaddon, Enigma type Kezu heroes. They've gone to unusual picks for like the mid-roll. We've seen Death Prophet, we've seen Ember Spirit, we've seen a big array of heroes. Lycan's been like kind of a common recurring pick for them. So Team Secret do prioritize this like kind of early 5-man push style though.
Yeah, Abaddon is actually their most played hero at this event with 3. So really nothing to go on in terms. They've been so decisive during the group stages. 6-0.
I guess what we can say is Secret like to pick these offlaners that you can sort of just leave on an island, pretty much. Just play away from there, try and do whatever, and then this offlaner just gets super fat because there's pressure being applied on the other side of the map. But let's look at these bans. Pretty normal. Secret has banned like Monkey King pretty much every single game. So I think they're going to keep up with that tradition. Maybe it could bite them later if they keep locking in this one ban to a monkey all the time. But SG do play it, so seems fine. And I should say, like with Puppy, he's this one guy who will never ever underestimate any team. So if this, I think this is actually one of the worst matchups for SG Esports. If they were trying to get this underdog thing going, and Secret like probably study them as much as they possibly can. They don't want to really lose right now after their amazing performance during the groups.
I was curious to see what approach that SG was going to take into the draft, and now we kind of like see it right away with the Ricky Tree bans. They're trying to take out these like obnoxious lane heroes that are just really annoying. I thought that they might target Kezu, but they actually go for that type of approach.
It's much more difficult to ban out the offlaners because there's just so many of them in this patch. But the Invis moving ward kind of hero like Ricky and Trien, they're the best ones, right? And the monkey's already banned, so that's you're pretty much banning 3 out of 3. Maybe we'll see a bounty hunter now, since that's like sort of the last roaming Invis hero that's left. So
almost seems like Secret didn't expect that, because they took a long time to first pick that wall. Like they're already chewing through some reserve time. Like you've had days to prepare for this matchup. They probably thought they'd at least get one of those 2 heroes in their opening
a little
pick.
bit caught out perhaps. The CM ban isn't that wild, obviously, from Team Secret. It is the most played here by SG, so they picked up in all 3 of their games before. And the one win that they had came with the Puck and the Slug.
Yep, the Clockwork.
They go Clockwork.
It's like their favorite hero, I feel.
Clockwork Puck Slark, right? That game. Yeah. And they did open Clockwork in that game as well, SG.
Yep.
So they're going, maybe they're thinking like, okay guys, this is the one game where we took out a really big fish with. So let's try and figure out like what went right in that game, what was strong in our draft, and let's replicate it, see if it works again.
I like how they do that too, because they run it in different roles. They run it as support and as offlane, so I feel like right away they're like, okay, let's leave our options open. This is our most comfortable hero as well, so let's roll with it.
Ooh, Kunkka. That's a really strong team fighting hero. Every time I see Kunkka, it's not something that everyone plays, but when you see it, it like brings some fear that your team fight can be very lacking against this hero.
Do you think it's at all a block pick? Because that was actually a hero Puppy played in one of their last games too. Like, obviously he's got more, like he's played the Tusk as well, but it feels like a potentially partially block pick as well. Like you've banned out so many of the 4-position heroes, take one of the few that's left that Puppy plays.
Yeah, and they haven't played it yet either, so it's pretty interesting to see them grab like this duo. We've been seeing a lot of like similarity between some of these drafts, and then when we look and we see Clockwork Kunkka, I feel like I haven't seen these heroes in like 2 days almost.
Right. Secret gonna take their time a little bit here, maybe surprised by the Kunkka pick as well.
I want to see if they match up like a kind of roamer. Like they picked the Tusk with the Warlock the other time. I think it's pretty good versus Kunkka as well, having like that kind of save versus the Boat and Torrent.
Yeah, most of the time, okay, it's going to be a Jug. So it's very good versus Kunkka. You can't really cast the spells, X on him or anything. You can just spin it off. As for the Tusk, I think Secret have like some Qs that allow them to pick the Tusk. For example, Legion Commander.
Yeah.
We also saw Liquid picking the Tusk versus the Legion. So not seeing that, they see the Kunkka, very solid counter pick with the Jug. A carry that can't really be pressured.
And a carry that can also go mid as well. So
Yes.
you're not totally revealing what you're doing necessarily with your lanes and drafts. If you want to put this in the mid lane, you can.
Could also maybe, I think this is HFN's probably one of his most played heroes as well, the Jug from the safe lane. So maybe they're trying to like, okay, we got his Jug right now already too. Like you said, Puppy does like to plan, so that could be an approach that they're going as well, as it being as well very good versus the Kunkka and Clockwork.
So Bounty being banned out, so 3 of Puppy's heroes straight off.
May as well, like you're already limiting the pool, that may as well limit it even further.
Right. Actually, I've seen in a lot of tournaments while I was coaching that teams tend to single out Puppy a lot. Because he has like these 3 or 4 key heroes he likes to cycle through. And when you ban it out, you might potentially put Secret in a very awkward position, where they don't really want to pick a hero, but they're forced to pick a hero because the ones that they normally do are gone. So it's sometimes can be a very solid strategy.
Spirit Breaker ban too. Pretty
Well,
yeah.
I think we know who they're aimed at.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the SF ban. It's one of those carries that pairs very well with the Clockwork because you get the free souls at level 1. It makes that laning stage very dominant. And you've got no 4 position heroes to help that mid lane, so you're pretty much guaranteed to win that, at least do very well in that mid lane for your SG Esports with a Shadow Fiend with Insta Souls and no 4 position roaming heroes really available.
And it's like so much team fight if SG were to get like a Shadow Fiend with Clockwork Kunkka. It's just so it's extremely powerful to keep the distance away from the Shadow Fiend. Just very good heroes with him.
Yep. Tinker, good ban. They have 2 heroes that actually Jug is pretty good versus Tinker, but they don't really have the catch at the moment. And maybe the Spear Breaker ban made them think that there's a potential that SG actually want to play with the Tinker here.
And we have seen the old school, like the Kunkka Tinker, that kind of cheat, like not cheese combo, but the X into, you know, you go in, you can drop marches, you get X back, and then X rockets, etc.
So one thing we talked about Secret was that when they were drafting, they had a lot of vision heroes, right? There was a draft where they had Lycan and Templar in the same team. They had Wolves and Ricky, so they would play off the information that they received from these heroes. This game, they picked Warlock and Jug. Neither are vision heroes, and 4 vision heroes were banned out. So that looks like something that SG Esports can be working with here. Perhaps identifying that is Secret's main strategy.
Yep. An aggressive support pick and Disruptor, one of those heroes if you want to fight and kind of meet Team Secret's tempo and chase them down. Glimpse will be very kind of effective way to rotate around, find some kills for your team.
Yeah, not so good against the Jug though still.
No, not at all.
So now they have an offlaner and 2 supports who are not good versus the Jug. Could get a little weird. They're going to need to get a very good matchup on the other 2 cores.
The Glimpse isn't good, but in some ways, like, you go against with like a hook shot into a static storm, that could be good.
Right.
So I think
it is an insta-silence disable for the Jug.
It gives you a way to actually gank him when he's farming, but in like most stage of the game, like if Jug's just trying to push you down or whatever, it doesn't have an answer for the Glimpse.
They've got an immense amount of catch now too. All 3 heroes are some of the best catching heroes that you can have.
Right. So Tusk, they are going to pick it. So pretty good against Kunkka and Disruptor in a way. You can just snowball the X target, protect him, or get someone out of a cage from the Disruptor.
Wondering if they're going to go back for their type of like Invoker that they really do like to play, since they already have like the Clockwork and pretty good setup for the hero. They do really like it as well.
So the question here is SG going to pick their mid first or their carry, and which one would they like to hide? The information they have right now is that there's a Tusk. He could be roaming on mid. Maybe they already want to pick a mid who's not going to die to any like combination of Tusk. Okay, Troll, that's a hero that can go in 2 lanes, mid or carry, so good choice. Sort of hiding their both 4th pick and their last pick.
Gives him an objective taker. He's also very good naturally versus the Tusk. You know, if you snowball people in, you have Whirling Axes can work really well in that favor. Also, pretty good matchup versus the Juggernaut.
Yep.
Being able to bash through spin and
objective
everything.
towers, but as well Roshan.
Roche as well, yeah.
I really feel like SG Esports are playing pretty heavily towards the early game.
And
The
here's
ability
the
to
Ember.
Yep, there
So
it is.
this is mid one of his signature heroes, and very strong combination with the Warlock. We were waiting for the combo they want to use with the Fatal Bonds, and Ember, he has his Flame Guard from very early in the game. Lots of AoE damage that he deals out.
Mm-hmm. And SG doesn't really have like any, like instant stuns or anything. They have like an X and a Torrent and Disruptor ulti and stuff like that, but Ember Spirit can be very cheeky at getting out of those with like a Sleight of Fist, with his Remnants as well, obviously being able to get out of the Glimpse kinetic.
Yep. And we've actually seen a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
Feels like these Ember Spirits have become very good at dodging Glimpse.
I like the mag ban. Having 2 melee cores already on the side of Secret, I do really like that.
So now they're gonna have to pick Kazu's hero here. Something that could just, go to the offlane, chill. OD ban. Okay, that's very hard counter to the Ember in the lane. Extremely difficult for him to do anything there.
Might still be something like an Enigma. I mean, they do have the Clockwork, which can stop the BKB.
Yeah.
But it gives them...
Well, Abaddon is still in the pool as well.
Oh yeah, Abaddon's still in the pool. That's true.
Someone who can remove the Whirling Axis.
I mean, either of those heroes just gives them some team fight to try and match up to the Kunkka Claw.
It's not so good against the Disruptor and the Kunkka though, because of the lockdown they have. All right, Dark's here. Interesting.
Team fight. I guess they felt the Warlock wasn't enough just for their team fight now. They want to like add on to that.
Right.
And go for Tusk Darkseer pressure.
The other thing is, it pressures the lane more. Like the Abaddon, Enigmas, they don't really pressure the lane as much. Enigma can maybe deny some farm, but this directly maybe contests the Troll's lane a bit better.
And they've got good Ion Shell carriers already with the Ember, with the Tusk. Like they're extremely good. This just enables these heroes even more.
If they would ever collapse on a tower with 5 heroes with the Ember and Jug, very strong with the Darkseer. And there we have another Alchemist.
Ooh.
HFN gonna be playing that. It could still be a mid Alch, or a safe lane Alch.
Yeah, definitely a possibility.
Since HFN is on it.
We might well move it around. And very interesting draft indeed. Guys, what did you make of that? And I guess we should talk about predictions as well.
I like the Alch pick. I think SG's draft is decent. Like Team Secret don't have a good way of like pushing down too many early towers, like unless they really want to commit a lot of like the Warlock level 6 perhaps, and that's what you need to do against Alch. Take towers early, can restrict his farm, but with that said, I still have to go with Team Secret. I think they're going to be the better team. I think they've got mid one of his best hero, and Team Secret would still be my prediction.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go with Team Secret as well. I just love having like mid one on his Ember Spirit like you were talking about. I like they also have the pressure lane now too, so I think it's going to definitely mess with SG a bit.
Okay, 2 for Secret.
Team Secret. Their skirmishes are amazing with the Darkseer, Ember, and Jug. Very strong.
A clean sweep for Team Secret. Perhaps not too surprising after their wonderful group stage performances. Are they going to continue on? Is this win number 22? Let's find out as we head into Game 1 with your commentary team, led as always by Aldi.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are live here in Kiev, getting ready for the first ever appearance of a Brazilian team at a Valve Major event. Kevin, the last time that we saw a South American team compete at a Valve Major, I believe, was the Frankfurt Major in 2015 when Team Unknown actually upset Newbie in a BO1 in the lower bracket. They ended up getting knocked out after that, but the miracle? Do you think it's possible here?
Absolutely. It's a very historic match as well. That was the first time that I've seen, at least, Alchemist with an armlet, which eventually became the absolute standard trend. And we're going to see it this game as well, actually. So that was the last pick.
Vamos. It's time. SG Esports taking on Secret. We hop into the game now. It's certainly a battle of David and Goliath going in, with Secret on, I believe it's a 19-game win streak. On the flip side, you have SG Esports, who only managed to take 1 game and ultimately not the series in the group stage, went 0-3. So truly will be, not just any test. Already it's going to be a big challenge for them. First major event on a huge stage like this with the size and scope of an audience that only a major can bring. And well, thoughts on the draft here as we start to hop into the game? I know we saw the Juggernaut pick, and then they kind of doubled down with the Disruptor on a hero that Jug really seems set up to counter well.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I do kind of like what SG can do. If they do get some advantage, they can easily run down Secret and keep Secret where they want them to be. So if it's the flip side, if Secret's running at SG, they're not going to have the best time getting away from them, I think.
Yeah, so Secret already looking for that early jungle incursion as they smoke, and they are going to find Cat in the woods trying to sneak away to the Disruptor, but in quite a bit of danger here. The snowball revs up, and actually they're going to head towards Adriano instead. They catch him out initially, throws out the axes, does not have the Berserker's Rage yet. He's going to get caught, and he will be quickly brought down. Secret finding that early first blood with the double Ion Shell shenanigans, and undoubtedly not the last time we're going to see it this game. This is, on the flip side, a Secret lineup that also wants to be chasing you and running you down.
Yeah, and most likely they'll just start dual off lane. Tusk plus Darkseer is really scary for that reason, just because of snowballs. So Puppey ends up getting the bounty. That's one way to secure it, right? Get your core of first blood, and then he'll let you get the bounty rune.
Yeah. So thoughts on the lanes here, as we are going to see Kezu coming in early. They're running the Disruptor down bottom, but Secret are going to run the dual lane. Do you see much kill potential for this tri-lane?
I think they absolutely can get kills, but the problem is they might need level 2 now that they skipped Glimpse. So they just need a Glimpse ideally back into a Torrent, or a Torrent into a Glimpse afterwards. They can definitely kill these guys. It's just they have to get the right circumstances, and it can't be Secret going in on them with 2 heroes with Iron Shells.
And they need their levels as well, which could be a bit harder to come by in a tri-lane scenario. So KNRD, he did play a support clock in the group stage, and I thought it might be a support clock here again, but actually we'll find the Torrent connection onto Kezu, tries for the TP out. There's the snowball from Puppey. We'll get him back to safety, so good patience by him. Escapes, gets back to the well, and Puppey's still here to soak up that experience, so SG Sports, close but no cigar.
And off on the other side of the map, it's a Clockwork in the solo offlane position. He's doing a great job draining MP's mana, but he's not getting the most levels just yet. It definitely is difficult to avoid getting zoned by a Warlock damage-wise.
Yeah, that is the beautiful thing about the Warlock pick this game, is pretty much no matter who went to the offlane, unless they went full aggro, they were going to be pressured very heavily.
Elk is slightly losing mid, 10-4 on the Ember Spirit, 8-0 for the Elk, so he's probably semi-content with this at the moment. Just went for Brown Boots, fast Iron Talent, so slightly different build, but this will let him jungle a lot more rapidly than a poor man's Shield would.
Puppey getting aggressive here on KNRD, and he does have the Orb of Venom. With Kezu coming in, might be able to find a kill here.
He did just use Snowball, so we won't see any more gap close after that, but as soon as Kezu gets close enough and puts down an Orb or Iron Shell, I think it's going to work.
He's got a DD rune. That just looks like a kill. I don't really think there's too much Disruptor can do here with the Point and Thunder Strike at level 1.
Said mouse is not stopped working, which I'm going to assume is meant to be the mouse has stopped working.
Guys, by the way, my mouse is still functional. Just wanted to pause and make sure you're all aware. Well, we'll see if he gets it sorted out. But a likely death here, it looks like, for KNRD. No TP, no real help in sight. So obviously the lane's not going particularly well for SG Esports to start things off. I guess the question is, what is sort of their long-term game plan with the draft here, as we will be unpausing momentarily, Kevin? And how do you see the lineups matching up later on in the game?
I think SG basically needs to take their 4 heroes, the ones that don't need a ton of farm, and they need to roll around fighting a lot. Maybe Troll will spend a lot of time hitting jungle creeps, but Clockwork, Kunkka, and Disruptor certainly are going to be the pace setters this game, with occasional appearances by Troll, and maybe even sometimes Alk. He's going to get killed in the mid lane, though.
Mid one, he really pushed it to the limit there. Almost went down, but even fighting in the acid spray, able to secure the kill. So did the math correctly as see Tavo up top, just duking out a little bit with Pylai Die, trying to eke out what farm he can, but HFN now going to go back to the jungle. KNRD also getting a little stacking going, it looks like. So fairly passive laning stage here for SG Esports, not really showing many signs of early rotations, which when you see a Clock, a Kunkka early, you think like maybe these guys will be going for those early roaming ganks, but it doesn't seem like the rest of the lineup is going to allow them to do that, especially not with this start.
This is maybe a time to do it though. KNRD, could end up headed mid. 1x marks the spot and a Torrent follow-up, and Acid Spray on top of that. They could right-click a lot of damage on Ember, but maybe poor man's Shield would stop too much. It'd probably take 3 heroes, I'm guessing.
And Puppey kind of anticipating that gank already, just tucked in the trees right behind mid one. ready to reinforce should they actually go for that type of dive. So while it might look like a kill for SG Esports, could well result in just giving something up. His mid one dives deep in the mid lane. How appropriate. Now the turret coming out from KRD, but with the Flame Guard active, mid one shrugs it off, and Puppey revealing his position will force them back. SG Esports just getting crushed so far, as we see 20 and 6 for mid one already in the mid lane, off to an extremely hot start and applying a lot of pressure on the south.
Yeah, the Alchemists, they basically needed the Ember to be under tower with X marks the spot. It's pretty much the only way they get that kill, so just laid the perfect limits here.
Tavo being pressured. We'll see Puppey moving towards him as the bounty runes do spawn, but uses the cogs to protect it and secures that rune, so getting that much needed bit of gold. Simultaneously, Kezu also taking to the jungle, so both offlaners playing a little more passively, trying to avoid those ganks and under some duress, but not dying, and obviously Darkseer can have the much better time if it comes to a passive offlane with his ability to turbo farm.
And Clockwork is in no way going to kill MP, but maybe he could get lucky and grab Highlight Die here. Catapult does get spotted. He's got boots and a Windlace, so he's really fast actually, like 85 movement speed faster than the Warlock. That's a kill opportunity if he can get close.
That always hurts as an offlane.
Yeah, trying to last hit with spells and missing it.
That Catapult really wanted it, but will be denied. So the good news here is Adriano, though. He already is at 29 CS, having a pretty good time of it bottom, and does give them that push potential that could maybe free up the map for the rest of the team to catch up.
And Disruptor's getting pretty good levels as well. The faster 6 is really the important thing. Level 2 Glimpse would also help a lot, really help grab the Darkseer kill if needed. And Troll certainly has the damage for that if he can get enough right clicks on. So Disruptor just got to get those kills.
Here comes mid one, already level 6. Out for blood, and he might find a tasty Alchemist takedown. Already dropping the ward, so Secret not just going for this kill, Kevin, but also setting up for the economic stranglehold after the kill, as HFN going to reveal his position. They snowball on forward. They commit onto him, catching it with the chains, even throwing out the shards, and Secret at a dance of fire and ice will melt the Alk down to smithereens. Puppey getting glimpsed back, but no real follow-up to this. They're not even going to be able to get the kill on the support, let alone mid one.
Or even the Sigil didn't even get last hitted there. That's a little tough for them. Alk does TP back in. It was just a very smart gank. Like they saw that Alk was kind of losing his lane. His HP was a little bit low. And in most cases, Alk just sprints right to the jungle in those cases. But he's still sitting there. He spots it out with the tree break, but that's the benefit of Tusk.
SG Sports quickly finding themselves in a deep hole here. Already down 2,000 gold. Experience still fairly even, but when you're running the Alk and the lanes are going this poorly as far as farm goes, you'll need some catch-up time, something Secret seems loath to give them. As they already have the level 2 Ion Shell, level 3 not that far off, and you got to imagine once Kezu gets like to level 6 or 7 that they'll be looking for those Ember ganks, maybe with even the Juggernaut joining in.
Yeah, it's one of the scariest things to combo with an Ember Spirit. It's kind of thinking like Mag, except you just kind of stand there and people die, so like doubles, triples, almost the value of Flame Guard. And look what mid one can do right now. He's just pressuring the support Kunkka. This is really bad for King RD.
He's going to ball forward, dodging away from the torrent. He does go under tower, though. Remnant back again, but pays with his life. Definitely not worth. Though he gets the kill, is applying the pressure. HFN ends the dominating streak, and with that also getting so much deep free farm, but simultaneously in the bottom lane. Secret continuing to apply the pressure here. Cat gets the glimpse back, then the 2-hero torrent comes in RD, back and looking to party. Kezu, can he make it out of here? Adriano just looking for that bash. One more auto attack is going to find the kill, then the X back. SG Esports not done with Secret just yet, but meanwhile the Sigil is causing problems for Adriano. Has to be careful. Torrent coming out again. Puppey's going to dodge it. Mid one already back. Wants to rejoin the fight. Low as well is Cat. Have to be careful not to feed mid one too much. He is going to get the Adriano kill, and now Secret fishing for a bit more. Rocket coming in, just marking the tombstone of his fallen comrade, but no sign of a rotation yet from that Clock, who is still not yet level 6.
I mean, SG's got some spunk so far. They're trying to take it to Secret, win the little engagements. I mean, first match they played in the group stage did take out OG, which was extremely surprising. Yeah, they could always just do that again, right? Just same thing. Just win your trades, win your game. It's that simple, something like that.
It really does feel like the type of game where they have to be willing to take those risks, though. If you let Secret get their core items and then just run at you with the Ion Shell on the Ember Spirit, he's just going to rack up kills. They're their catch is a little bit limited here, Kevin. Until they get the Disruptor ult, there's not a whole lot of tools to shut this Ember
I kind of
down.
feel like it's the same thing on Secret, though. I mean, Ember Spirit can gap close, Searing Chains is very effective, but past that, it's basically just Tusk's abilities, and most times he's going to burn those cooldowns at the start of the fight. So I do think that they can weave in and out of fights pretty well. It's just they can't lose their heroes right at the start of the fight. And I'm looking at Kunkka and Disruptor when I say that.
Here comes MP as mid one lunges into the fray. He finds the 2-hero chains. The follow-up is there. Puppey on the hunt, finds the kill. Double snowball connection as they quickly cave in 2 of SG Esports heroes at the tier 1. They did bring in the Jug for that fight as well, so
It's a great rotation.
aggressive rotations by Secret, and quite early at that.
Yeah, it loses him a little bit of farm, but this tower's going to take way more damage as a result. They lose the clarity, though, so that means no healing ward, unless he pops the magic sticker. He'll commit it, but that means no more spells after that, so very likely will be some tower damage, but not everything.
Rocket Flare coming in, just trying to slow down the push. It is the level 1 Rocket Flare, so going for the extra points in Battery Assault, more focused on potential hero kills as that supports the mid-game.
And he's got level 6 now, so he'll head there, looking for a kill setup probably on mid 1. He's got 1 Remnant, and if they've got Disruptor here with Glimpse, this could be a kill if he can land the hook shot.
Tavo looking for it. There is no dire vision of this rotation, but at the same time, the clock also might, the absence of his hero top might be a giveaway as Kezu pushes out that lane. You can see there's an observer ward in the area. Now Tavo, I believe, might have poked his way into ward vision. Now is revealed, so not able to find a kill just yet.
A little surprised he actually just killed the large camp instead of trying to attempt to kill in other lanes. I mean, I guess going for Ember Spirit's very dangerous. It's very easy to mess up the kill, but I thought maybe with Glimpse they'd be able to get it. But I guess without Disruptor ulti as well, it's bringing the death back to you sometimes. You got to be really careful that you don't overestimate your kill ability.
And most of their damage is magic at this point, with Alchemist not being farmed at all, just not at the armlet yet, and obviously Troll unlikely to be ganking as he continues to farm the bottom lane. So might not be able to burst through that Flame Guard very quickly. Speaking of the Ember Spirit, mid 1 already BOT's complete. Only
That's
10 minutes in.
He's matching an Alchemist in farm. Actually, he's winning. That's a dangerous sign. And instantly smokes again after showing for quite a while in the mid lane. He's going to spot the Troll Warlord. Smoke's broken.
Adriano in trouble here. Remnant forward. Mid 1's going to catch him initially. Pretty tanky target to take down. They're going to drop the rock for this. Adriano running back to the tower as quick as he can. They don't have the Kunkka boat yet, and Puppey's going to roll in, interrupts any sort of counterplay. Also setting up for the follow-up kill as Pylai Dai caves his skull in, bashing him down with the Golem, and now quickly they transition into the tower push, while simultaneously mid 1 tries to hold the mid lane. He gets the Remnant off, so though Cat will glimpse him back, he stays and holds it, ensuring that they will take a tower. They will not even give up damage. And oh, by the way, MP also taking the tier 1 top during this time. So Secret, the full Nelson quickly being applied as they immediately start to choke out SG Esports.
This is insane. Mid 1 skill usage is actually incredible. He never loses any efficiency. Always grabbing 2 heroes and Searing Chains if they're available. Perfect Fire Remnant usage as well to guarantee get kills, to even dodge the axe spin. I mean, this is like, is he not the highest MMR player in the world right now? He's 9.5K, I believe. It's insane. He's playing so well.
As he continues to apply the pressure here. Hook shot from Tavo, not going to connect. He gets glimpsed back into the Static Storm, but just remnants out, zippity-doo-dah, and away he goes. He even wants to chase. SG have committed a lot with that Static Storm down. That is the majority of their team fight. There's no Kunkka boat yet. HFN might pay the piper for this. Eats the Omni Slash. Does have the armlet available, but not even going to get it off as he ends up dropping quickly. Secret on the punish and taking team fights without the rock, just showing how confident they are in their position this game. But yeah, back to your point about mid 1. I remember when he really started to take off, the one thing Winter mentioned about him is that he's a bit of a hothead, at least when he was starting out. So extremely talented, sometimes would lose his cool, but he's kind of grown into a much more like disciplined mid player we've seen. Still not afraid to go for those big plays, but he's tempered that aggression and is taking smarter fights. We can see just continues to combo with Puppey here. Looking for follow-up kills, now diving head into the base. Secret looking for the quick and decisive GG. Punishment continues for SG Esports. They get battered inside their own base. In comes the out. He tries to turn the fight. Have Secret gone a bit too far? No, it seems they stand their ground. Mid 1 gets another kill. He wants to come back in. The cogs are there though, and Tavo is cleaning up. They'll find 2. Somewhat equalizing, but still not dealing with this Ember.
Oh, man. And just as you talk about patience, Secret does some really aggressive moves underneath the tier 3s.
But mid one didn't die.
That's true, and Puppy's going to go down as well here. Finally, the X marks the spot, paying off big time. Kunkka getting 6 from that one. And the net worths are looking a lot better now after that little bit of skirmishing. It looked like Secret was about to just open the game up and close it out at 13 minutes. But
maybe a little handicap gifted here to SG Esports.
They're like, well, we need to get some more fantasy points for our fans, so we'll play a little throwy here.
A little throwy, but mid one just constantly applying that pressure. Not afraid of really getting picked off. The Static Storm is up now. It's level 3 Glimpse, so he's got to be cautious about the Disruptor.
Yeah, that's certainly the part he has to worry about the most, especially if there's enough damage to back it up, like Clockwork, for example, in melee range. Using Battery Assault under Static Storm, that could certainly be a kill.
So where do you go now if you're SG Esports? They are going to smoke, so it looks like they want to find some kills.
If you're losing, the best thing to do is get kills off, and if you have your teamfight ultimates, go for the high net worth guys.
They are going to find mid one right as he ganks Adriano. Can they turn the fight? The boat gets revealed. Here comes the snowball. Static Storm's there, locking that Ember Spirit in position. They're going to kill up mid one. That's a mega kill streak down, but do they have the follow-up? Out comes the Walrus Punch. Now they engage. Good Golem deployed by Pylai Dai as they look to turn the tides. Kezu also there with the wall, forcing them back, rolling them over. They still get the advantage as far as kills go, but getting that Ember kill, a pretty juicy takedown that SG Esports should have some consolation about. And in fact, the gold overall swinging their way over the last minute or two.
Yeah, the comeback gold really paying off there. And all that gold did go to Troll Warlord as well. He was the one that was able to secure the kill. I don't think Iyasha is going to make a massive difference here in his ability to teamfight well, but it will accelerate his farm at least and get him around to escape ganks, things like that.
It seems like for Secret, the game plan is really let's get these towers down and just starve the Alchemist out as much as possible. We saw the aggressive wards earlier. The tier 1 mid has fallen, tier 1 top down, and they're just kind of taking over the Radiant side of the map, Kevin. No signs of letting up.
Their wards are really good for that too. Basically controls everything near the secret shop, which is a common place for Alk to sit around and hang out. Very protected from the shrines and things like that. Whereas the rest of his jungle is a little harder for him to get into. Not as much ward vision, stuff like that. So.
And on the flip side, like look at the SG Esports vision. They are playing truly in the dark here. They see almost nothing. Aside from that one observer ward down near the bottom rune, but they blew their scan earlier, actually missing Secret or a bit closer. It shows you how claustrophobic the game feels for them right now. You'll see another smoke, 3 heading towards top, and perhaps the tower is the objective as Adriano revealing himself potentially in the lane. Seems like they want to push.
Yeah, they killed the ward as well. Dire's going to scan to see if they end up rotating back towards their area, maybe to see if they're grouping in to go into Roche. Another thought, but their whole goal is to dive a tower and get a kill. But the problem is that Secret's just not going to be there. They're winning so badly. You don't sit around defending by your tier 1s. You play in the enemy jungle, in the enemy area of the map. That way you can continue to get kills with your superior gold advantage.
So HFN at last does pick up his relic. Should still be like a sub 20-minute Radiance. Potentially in the next 2 minutes should have it with this tower dropping as long as he doesn't get ganked.
And sub 20 is obviously very slow and for how Alchemist should be. That's usually like the 13-minute-ish Radiance timing.
Uh-oh, they get the tower, but at what cost? Glimpse will be there, but mid one able to drop the Remnant. He comes right back into the fight again, just negating Cat's presence. Though as I say that, he gets caught in the cogs. He may have overplayed his hand. Static Storm coming through. They catch him again. They take mid one down. Crucial kill for SG Esports, looking for more. Puppy getting caught out, now caged and will be finished. MP forced to retreat. SG Esports battling back against what looked like an almost unstoppable Secret juggernaut. They have stabilized.
Yeah, it seemed like a very weird fight for Secret. Even Puppy held the snowball for forever. Finally going in, did get the disable off, but they're definitely playing a little overly aggressive considering their position. I mean, they're ahead, but hey, that's more and more gold that SG can take back and possibly take a win out of this. It's an Alchemist as well. If they have some good team fights and they start pumping out some Ag Scepters, the game could change so fast.
So if you're Secret, obviously not happy with those last couple of engagements and not so happy with the last 5 to 8 minutes, do you slow the game down a little bit now?
Yeah, absolutely. Just play it a little safe, continue with your map control, but the important thing is to get a kill and then take Roshan. They just got an Omni/kill on the Troll Warlord. This would be pretty perfect timing, really. But they need everybody alive, and ideally something like a medallion. They actually do have one on Puppy, and I think Jug, with the help of a couple other heroes, can definitely take it. But they may play a little safer and continue trying to pressure with Shadow Blade right now.
Let's see what the move is. We'll see mid one, top lane. About to eat the Alex stun. They have Tombo set up from the rear. Maybe could go for this hook shot play. He is going to jump in, but doesn't hit mid one. The catapult not cooperating. Didn't actually have the follow-up nearby.
Yeah.
I was figuring Cat would be in the neighborhood with a static storm, but he was off towards mid.
Yeah, without him, maybe he was considering teleporting or something, but obviously miscommunication there for Tavo to waste the skill.
It's a pretty low cooldown, I suppose.
Yeah, it's relatively low, and it definitely gets Ember Spirit to leave the lane. That part helps, but gotta use those for crucial moments, because now for sure Ember Spirit doesn't have to worry about that for 50 seconds. He's gonna continue pushing out the bot lane, probably the safest place on the map for Secret practically.
And again, it's SG Esports, the area on the map where they've had the most success this top side, but there is a ward now. No smoke. They already chewed through 2, probably running low at this point. I do want to point out, Kevin, slightly unusual pickup for mid one, but I think it makes sense this game. He's going to be going for the Yule Scepter as his next item.
Yeah, probably to help protect against X-Torrent. Disruptor going to go down. Doesn't even get him inside the silence for forever. So that's a tough loss.
That's going to open things up, and it might not be where they end. Tavo going for the TP out here. So too is KNRD in the trees. The Remnant through a bit late. Mid one will immolate those, but can't find the hero. So they dodge a bullet, only losing the Disruptor. Secret, though, in pretty good position here near the Roshan pit. Not sure if they go for it yet, but they got to be thinking about it.
It's a decent farm comparison, but again, we're looking at Alchemist, the guy that gets tons of extra gold every time he gets the last hit. So it's going to come down to good skill usage for them to keep getting back and further into the game. The kills are the most important thing by far. Usages of the ultimates, like how Disruptor has been and Clockwork has been, at least the last one that he missed. You can't throw those away willy-nilly. You need to coordinate them together, put the heroes together, get a kill, and continue doing that so it creates space for your team. But right now, it's basically just Alchemist sapping up whatever gold happens to be on the map, maybe some leftover going to troll, and everyone else is standing around. So you've got to go for those kills in these moments, otherwise you're going to get behind.
Oh, MP, he was trying to be cute with the Blade Fear in the way, but he is going to get caught, maybe punished. Static Storm drop, back into the cogs he goes, but the wall is there, the boat coming through, crashes and connects, but doesn't find the kill. He stays alive, he omnis and decapitates. Now Altriano to fall, that's 3 down. Secret, very poised there. It looked like an opening, but in fact, it was a trap.
Yeah, Juggernaut's really, really hard to kill right now. Able to keep him alive. I wouldn't be surprised if they use Shadow Ward or something like that.
I think he had the healing ward for the second half of that barrage of spells as well.
Yeah, definitely towards the end. I mean, it basically took everything they had just to get him down to low HP. It was full Disruptor ulti, but he ran out, so they had to glimpse him back. And then he was about to run out again, so they X'd him back in. And then the boat hits him, but he's still alive.
And in fact was healing up through it all. HFN's going to get caught out here by Puppey. He tries to stay alive with the armlet active. Won't matter. Mid one burns him down again. And, well, you mentioned Alk trying to carve whatever farm he can out of this very limited map, but again gets punished off on his own and without any towers to really reinforce. He just doesn't have a whole lot of options.
And it's just so easy for Secret to run at him in moments like that. You spot him once, you start chasing him down using BOTs, and you know that your team can't back him up, or his team can't back him up. No ghost ship, no hook shots, no static storm. Just lets them make perfect decisions when chasing.
Mid one Yule's complete, so now a lot less afraid of that Disruptor, and as you mentioned, the Kunkka as well can get away with those aggressive plays. And speaking of which, Kezu also picking up a pipe, so another big item against a pretty magic damage heavy team. They rely a lot on the Radiance here, the Static Storm, the boat, obviously a big source of magic damage, and this pipe, combine that with the healing ward, gonna negate the vast majority of it.
Yeah, I really like it as an item choice, especially when it's already difficult to kill like Juggernaut. So
Cat, he's in deep, and the chains are there. Mid one, catching him out, goes for the glimpse back, and will actually survive for now, but well, feeds himself to the creeps. Mid one still happy to collect the kill, and with it, the gold as well.
they need so much help stabilizing right now, because they're kind of trying to create space, get heroes in the right spot to go for kills, but Secret's just playing this so well. There's actually amazing ward vision for SG right now. This is certainly their moment to actually get some of these kills, but Disruptor's ulti is an absolutely crucial aspect of that. And them even going for X combo initiations is so tough. Tusk can snowball himself or others to buy them 3 seconds. Gank comes on bottom again on Alchemist.
Looking for HFN, revving up the stun. Mid one is going to get clipped by it, but just continues to move forward with the Maelstrom. Does manage the toggle. HFN staying alive for now. Now dropping the acid spray. Another toggle. Can he turn it? Almost brings up mid one. He will, but Pi is there with the save. If he got another toggle off, it's kind of got a dicey.
Did he turn his arm? I thought he was going to live there.
I'm not sure if he turned it off or if he just burned down with maybe the Shadow Word on him, but
I think he might have toggled it. He did have Shadow Word on him. I remember that. Either way, pretty good kill, but unfortunately he didn't get the experience. He goes down first, meaning that he doesn't get almost everything that MP does.
Snowball now is, speaking of good vision, Cat, one swing! Jug.
God.
Oh man, that's ugly. This is not family-friendly television.
And that's after the Silver Edge nerf too. That's basically Shadow Blade level damages. Gets a little lucky on the crit, but the pressure is just so difficult to deal with. Troll with a Manta style at least can deal better with the Ember Spirit. They do grab the Jug, but it's not fast enough.
Adriano, not lucky, but they also are lacking here on the detection as MP gonna chase forward, looking for the pickoff. They cage in KNRD. Adriano wants to gaze, but actually Tombo springs the trap of his own. Great vacuum, but still the Torrent coming through. They're trapped for now in the cogs. The cogs will end, and then the rock gets deployed. Spinning again is Adriano, and balling in is Mid1, just crushing his way through the entirety of SG Esports, blows them up. Finding more, he just might. KNRD caught. It's going to be a full 5-man wipe as Mid1 comes back, grabs the triple. Secret in full control now.
Yeah, that is a fight Secret's been waiting to have for about 10 minutes. We've missed a little bit of fan shots basically for them as they've been having some harder and harder team fights, but finally they do the safe thing. They go for the Roshan. I mean, it's not often you'll see a team happily engage a full cooldown, full HP lineup under a shrine, but Secret makes it work with their big advantage.
And when you have a mech, a pipe, Warlock ult, Fatal Bonds, you kind of just power your way right through the shrine. So now Secret back to the Roche that you mentioned. They're going to be picking up the Aegis here. MP, man to grab it.
Man.
And you got to imagine that high ground siege coming soon, but with the tier 3 now down mid, the way to those shrines has been unlocked. So Secret going to take that lower hanging fruit first.
This is actually the biggest thing holding Secret back, because they have too many productive things to do in a row. It's, oh, well, we'll stomp this team fight, then we'll take Roche. Oh, we could work on shrines, so we got to finish Roche first. Now they're like, well, we could end the, oh no, well, shrines first, guys. Let's play this normally. All of these options and these low-hanging fruits, they're just ready to grab them.
Truly the definition of first world problems here.
Yeah. They'll push out their lanes. There's still a tier 2 tower remaining, and they've got one more shrine to do, and at that point, it's basically just dead map for SG. It's already very difficult for them to grab farm on the map, but Secret's pressure will continue. Diffusal Blade on the way for Jug as well, so no Ghost Scepter solution.
The smoke comes through. Secret actually did get clipped by the Radiant Scan. Very fortuitous. I think they want to spring a trap here, but they're all running right by a Dire Ward, so it might just end up not working out at all. As Mid1 had the Remnant prepped, already coming in and looking for the openings. Initially, will find Cat dropping the Static Storm. Will manage to catch on MP, but do they have the follow to kill the Jug? Not quite enough. The Snowball's there, saving the day. El Capitan balls him out. Now they cage him back in, but again, where's the follow-up? Where's the damage here for SG Esports? Tavo against 4, not going to happen, and now onto HFN. MP has the Omni, doesn't need to use it, gets the super long range Samurai Sword Swing. We'll find the kill with the help of Mid1, so 3 down. Hardly using ults there, as they didn't have the Golem available. The wall still cooling down. They will have those big spells coming in the next fight. Actually did drop it on the backside, but you can see even without the Golem, they're just not afraid to fight.
Their skill usage just remains to be a little bit wasteful. Like even Clockwork going for the hook shot, great hook shot, landed on 3 heroes, cogs them in, but it was basically him trying to save Alchemist, and maybe a very long shot for him to even use the cooldowns. So it won't matter ultimately. He's going to be ready to go when he respawns, but I feel like that's kind of been the story of the game so far, is SG hasn't been putting their skills together in cohesive, strong ganks, not to mention just the other general laning problems.
Secret not quite ready to breach the base yet. Looks like they may want to shove in these other lanes. Mid1 dealing with top, gets it to the tier 2, then rotates on towards mid. Now picking up a Shiva's guard, so going for a relatively defensive and tanky build here with the Yules, the Shivas, as though he weren't already hard enough to bring down.
It's high mobility, high magic resistance, high armor. The only thing he's really missing is raw HP.
And the Shivas is really nice to have against the Troll, an Alk. Like, even if you do get caught and
true.
the Yules is on cooldown, Still pretty hard to kill him with that.
Yeah, the anti-attack speed, the anti-mobility, all very useful this game. They are going to spot mid one, actually. This could be a good initiation. The hook, perfect.
Static Storm's there for the follow, but he just uses and tries to survive for now. Now the snowball comes in. The rockets drop, looking to counterplay this. Mid one there with the chain. Sleight of fist as well. Continues to work. Remnant forward. Kaboom! They just explode. Secret so far ahead here that it doesn't matter if you catch mid one. He shrugs it off.
Yeah, the brunt of the damage was dodged with the Yule Scepter, but even after that, he just looks invulnerable right now. Flame Guard blocking 1,000 magic damage, plus the like 27 armor he's working with right now. Maybe this build is not as high damage output, but boy, is he survivable.
Yeah, that talent selection is perfect for the state of the game. I feel like I have hardly seen Troll hit a hero this entire game.
Yeah.
So you're really not worried about physical damage that much in the end anyway, as they will find another catch here on KNRD. The longtime veteran from South America, down he goes. Mid one, continues the onslaught, and Secret looking for one, probably 2 lanes of racks here with the Golem already getting started, prepping that mid lane. And there's the GG call. SG Esports outmatched, outgunned, and completely outplayed here overall in game one.
Yeah, I mean, the lanes seemed fairly okay for SG here, but they weren't able to deal with the Darkseer. Their roaming duo didn't really feel like they accomplished a whole lot. Maybe they got some good levels, but once they did get their 6s, they just didn't feel like they put their ganks into really good things. And on the other side, on Secret side, as soon as the Ember gets his really fast 6, smoking at the same moment, going somewhere else, getting a big kill, just wasn't the same pressure coming from SG.
So 20-0 now, the Secret run continues, and here at the Major, still undefeated. What is it going to take to bring this team down?
Oh, man, after that game, I don't know if SG Esports can do it, but I'm sure there's some other teams later on the bracket that can. But SG's got to pull something together, and they got to do some really solid teamwork, and that's always tough when your morale is low after a super one-sided game like that.
Yeah, they've been waiting a long time. They've seen every other team up until this match. All other 7 round of 16 matches have been played. Had a lot of time to think, prepare for Secret, but all of a sudden all that preparation goes out the window. You get stomped like that, and you can start to question yourself, your entire strategy. Maybe they completely mix it up. We'll have to wait and see.
And even Secret's draft was a little bit different than some of their other ones. They went pretty heavily for Lycan during the group stage, and this game going back for Ember Spirit and Warlock, just really strong laning heroes basically. And I think that's Secret's strat here, basically. Just grab the heroes that are definitely going to dominate the lane, that have some good snowball potential, that are really strong at hitting towers. Juggernaut, Ember Spirit for diving the back line, like their lineup is just really safe, combos well together, and will allow them to run over a team that's worse than them.
Yeah, so teams not really stepping out of the booths. Looks like they want to get quickly into a game two. It is getting a bit later here in Kiev, so I don't know if we'll have a long break. Seems like they'll be ready to hop back into it in relatively short order.
And I don't blame them too much. It is getting pretty late in the evening. We're at 10:17 p.m. here in Kiev, and I don't know how the match or the start times are going to change tomorrow. That's where the bracket's going to start getting a little bit more busy here. Whoever wins this match is, they do the same order, also going to play the last match of the day, but you never know. Things could really change up fast.
All right. Well, while we get ready for that game number 2, we'll take a moment here. We'll go back to the panel, see what Paul and the boys have to say, and then we'll come back, bring you that game 2, see if SG Esports can force it to a deciding game 3.
Indeed we will. Thank you very much, LD. Of course, we'll go back to our commentators for Game 2 as it begins. But Game 1 was outplayed, outgunned, and as we thought, Team Secret having a little bit too much for SG Esports. Back with our panel members once more. I don't want to say outclassed because it kind of feels wrong to say that, but it was a different league as far as Secret were concerned. It almost felt like they could just finish it whenever they felt like it.
Yeah, you saw a mix of big team fight wins from Secret, individual outplays. There were solo kills from mid one on the mid lane. There was MP running around with a Shadow Blade on Juggernaut getting solo kills. So it had that mix of just good individual plays, good teamwork from Team Secret, some good aggressive warding to set up a lot of kills. I mean, all in all, Secret just played a solid game, start to finish.
Was there any highlight you could pick out for SG? Was there any hope in there that they can overturn the odds against Secret?
I think it was hard just because they were kind of like on the back foot. I felt like they were playing. It's not even like their fault. They were playing kind of like reactionary just because trying to catch like this Jug and Ember is super difficult with the heroes that they picked. I think this Jug pick really hurt them. They went for the Kunkka and Disruptor, and trying to catch a Juggernaut with that is extremely difficult, like we were mentioning. And then not only that, their supports, these two require so many levels, and they got contested in the off lane. It was a Tusk and Darkseer. They did get like 1 or 2 kills there, but the supports, it was like 12 minutes in. Kunkka wasn't 6 yet. Disruptor ate the Tome, and he just had gotten his 6. So the supports, which are the big playmakers for them, weren't able to get online, and Clockwork was kind of shut down in that off lane too.
Yeah. How did you say it, Timmy?
I mean, Secret just played their lineup the best they can. They got the Ember to run around between mid lane and the safe lane and the jungle with the Darkseer combo and the Tusk. They just utilized all their spells perfectly. I felt like at some point in this game, though, Secret may have got a little overconfident, started diving tier 3 towers and stuff. And to be honest, like when you're playing a long tournament like this, you don't really want to do that. You might get into like some bad habits, and going into the next opponent who is EG, waiting for them, it could backfire quite a bit if you get to that mentality.
Indeed. MVP-wise, little battle over that one. Gods, you felt mid one probably deserved it, but it could have been MP, couldn't it?
I think mid one made some really high-level plays. He also maybe was one of the players that was diving a bit, which I think why Theban was a bit more reluctant. He had a dive mid where he kills a support, then dies to an Alchemist. He had one bottom lane where he get killed by the Alchemist, but big picture-wise, he was getting all the kills. You can see there at the bottom. He was the guy setting up lots. The Yule Scepter build was very effective as well as at dealing with the Kunkka X as well as the Static Storm we saw at the end. He gets hooked, Static Storm, or he throws himself up in the air, dodges all the damage. I think all in all, mid one excelled. Like he solo kills this lane. He sets his team up for success.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get some more from all three of you as we head towards our second game, and perhaps some redemption for SG Esports. We can but hope. It is, of course, a brand new team to the majors. First time they've qualified for a Valve tournament, and we do welcome the fact that they have joined us. And let's catch up with King RD, who was with Shiva just before they entered the round of 16.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you think we see enough innovation?
I think we do from some players, like Envy. I think Envy's a player for me that I always see him going like these builds that you would probably never see people do, like, oh, this Medusa has a blade mail. Oh, this Medusa's going for like these totally different builds or stuff like that.
The war drums are live.
Indeed. The drums signify that we are indeed into our first draft between SG Esports and Team Secret. Gods, expectations for draft?
Hard to say. Since, I mean, these are two teams there's the smallest sample size on. There's been like a few key go-to picks, but we've seen a lot of versatility from Team Secret. They've favored some of those like Abaddon, Enigma type Kezu heroes. They've gone to unusual picks for like the mid-roll. We've seen Death Prophet, we've seen Ember Spirit, we've seen a big array of heroes. Lycan's been like kind of a common recurring pick for them. So Team Secret do prioritize this like kind of early 5-man push style though.
Yeah, Abaddon is actually their most played hero. At this event with 3. So really nothing to go on in terms. They've been so decisive during the group stages. 6-0.
I guess what we can say is Secret like to pick these offlaners that you can sort of just leave on an island pretty much. Just play away from there, try and do whatever, and then this offlaner just gets super fat because there's pressure being applied on the other side of the map. But let's look at these bans. Pretty normal. Secret has banned like Monkey King pretty much every single game. So I think they're going to keep up with that tradition. Maybe it could bite them later if they keep locking in this one ban to a monkey all the time. But SG do play it, so seems fine. And I should...
was headed towards 10k. That's what he was talking about the other day. I think the pressure of being the first to get there is a bit much for him. He doesn't like that very much, but he is playing out of his mind at this tournament.
Yeah, I was wondering where my MMR went. Now I
He's enjoying that stolen all of our
MMR, you know?
right.
Finally out of SEA, he's like, oh, this is sweet. I can win pub games now. What is this?
We all know where our MMR went. But yeah, he's doing a spectacular job. Every game I've seen him play in the groups, it was amazing. Like he synergizes very well with his team. They all understand how to play with him, and he understands how to play with his team. So I'm very impressed.
Yeah, is he a puppy mid? And by that I mean, is he like the perfect kind of character and player to fit into that team?
I can see it. Like Puppy really likes these guys who are not really going to throw the game, and they're going to secure it for him. So I don't really see mid one throwing any games, especially if you're reaching like a 9.5k MMR. That's what he was tweeting out the other day. Then you're probably not a very big game thrower or anything like that. So
you'd hope not.
Does any team want
hope not at this level?
No one wants a game thrower as their mid laner though. But I mean, there are some mid laners who are much more like volatile hit or miss,
Right.
but, yeah.
I think the fact that mid one plays so much, I think, is like super important too. Like I think he shows like a lot of interesting builds that he does with some of his heroes. I mean, they're not like super different, let's say, but I think he was the first one who I saw do like I think Merlini was saying was the Shadow Fiend going Dragonlance into Butterfly. Like his innovation kind of in those type of ways of how he understands the hero is really interesting.
That bodes well, doesn't it, for the match?
Yeah, he actually started out as a mid player, and only from TI 6, I believe, they changed their carry and mid roles. So he's like getting into that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a game, there's a Templar Assassin, and he just goes mid. We're actually starting to see a lot of that from other teams now.
Yep.
They're like changing depending on the hero that is played. Like maybe it's a more farm-oriented mid laner. They give it to the carry player to play it.
Feels like quite a contrast because Team Secret MP plays that more Nutel-esque carry role where he's like the selfless one. They play around mid one. We've seen a few like him picks and stuff, but even then, like he's still not farming. He's still not playing the hard carries. They're still not necessarily playing around him. They may build a lineup around his hero, but it's not like they expect MP to be the guy to fall back on to carry the game.
Yeah, it's very interesting with all these role swaps going on. What do you make of it, Fold? Is it good or is it bad? I mean, it's great for us for an interest point of view, but is it really paying off for the teams?
I think if it's like very hero dependent, I think maybe like once or twice, like it's like okay, Invoker, this guy's an Invoker specialist, you know,
like a GH.
Yeah, like GH, like for that kind of scenario, like a Naga specialist or like an Ember Spirit specialist, something like that. I think when it gets to the point when it's like happening too much, I think it can be a big detriment on a team because then it's like you're not trusting your mid laner. Then you're not trusting your most important guy. Pretty much, you're like that's the mid laner. You have to be in order to be a mid laner. You have to be super confident in yourself. And if you're switching that up so often for like every single time, I definitely think that can hurt.
The other key player, of course, on the other side of things is mid one. The guy is just running away with it in terms of MMR right now. He's hot on the heels.
Like with Puppy, he's this one guy who will never ever underestimate any team. So I think this is actually one of the worst matchups for SG Esports. If they were trying to get this underdog thing going, and Secret like probably study them as much as they possibly can. They don't want to really lose right now after their amazing performance during the groups.
I was curious to see what approach that SG was going to take into the draft, and now we kind of like see it right away with the Ricky Tree bans. They're trying to take out these like obnoxious lane heroes that are just really annoying. I thought that they might target Kezu, but they actually go for that type of approach.
It's much more difficult to ban out the offlaners because there's just so many of them in this patch. But the invis moving ward kind of hero like Ricky and Trien, they're the best ones, right?
Yeah.
And the monkey's already banned, so that's you're pretty much banning 3 out of 3. Maybe we'll see a bounty hunter now, since that's like sort of the last roaming invis hero that's left. So
almost seems like Secret didn't expect that because they took a long time to first pick that wall. I think they're already chewing through some reserve time. Like you've had days to prepare for this matchup. They probably thought they'd at least get one of those two heroes in there.
A little bit caught out perhaps. The CM ban isn't that wild, obviously, from Team Secret. It is the most played here by SG. So they picked up in all 3 of their games before. And the one win that they had came with the Puck and the Slug.
Yep, the Clockwork.
They go Clockwork.
It's like their favorite hero, I feel.
Clockwork Puck Slark, right? That game. Yeah. And they did open Clockwork in that game as well, SG.
Yep.
So they're going...
There we go then. Highlight Eye with the words alongside Shiva. Very interesting interview, very long interview. Thank you very much for your time as well there, Highlight Eye, before we got into the round of 16. He and his team are ready. They head into this one with an enviable record as well. 21-0 in their last 21 games. The last time they were beaten by TNC on the 25th of February. It's pretty crazy, Gods.
I mean, he talked about it. The morale, the confidence you get from that can make a big difference. He believes there's no reason to throw group stages because that can just be a difference maker going into a series. And I think that's where Secret, get through this series. You got to, first they got to get through this series, but moving through the tournament, they're going to be going that 21-0, 22, 23-0. If they can keep that going, like that's something good that they can build upon.
Yep. Certainly moving in towards that record that Newbie held from 2016 as well. We're going to take a look at the featured matchup in this one. We've picked out the carries, Gods, and Fold rather, because if there's a player on SG Esports that helped them through, and I don't want to pin it on one guy alone, it was HFN.
Yeah, he was their big star. I think he was one of like the first guys, one of the first in South America to reach like 8K or something like that. He's really dominant in the way that he farms his movements as well. He's not just like a farmer either. He plays very aggressive, but I think that's kind of like the nature style of this team too. They're very aggressive in the laning phase, and I feel like it could work pretty well versus Secret. It might catch them off guard.
He's got an interesting mix of heroes. He's top 5 since 7.0. He was a bit of a Luna spammer early on, which we've had a couple of the carries do that. Weaver, CK, TA, and a Jug. So some inside the meta, some outside of the meta.